I'm Colonel Jay Stobbs, retired, 30 years in the Army. It's a pleasure to be here, to get back to a lot of veterans. This is my comfort zone. My lovely wife, MJ, up there taking pictures of me. She's been with me for a long time, an Army spouse. He entered active duty in 1942 and under the Aviation Cadet Program received his commission. He has piloted the P-40 Warhawk, the P-51 Mustang, the F-84 Thunderjet, the F-100 Super Sabre, and the old Vietnam War Horse, the F-4 Phantom. While assigned to Turner Air Force Base in Georgia in 1952, he flew the F-84 across the Pacific during the mission Fox Peter 1, which was the first fighter jet to cross the Pacific Ocean. He was involved in that. He had flown 72 combat missions in South Vietnam, North Vietnam, and Laos prior to 12 May 1967, when he was listed as missing in action. He and his backseat navigator and weapons officer were shot down over North Vietnam on the 12th of May 1967. His backseat navigator and bombardier perished. Not sure really what happened to him. He was held as a POW in the Hanoi Hilton from 12 May 1967 until his release on the 4th of March 1973. After a brief convalescence, he assumed new duties as Vice Commander and then commanded the 82nd Flying Training Wing at Williams Air Force Base in Arizona. He was promoted to Brigadier General effective 1 June 1974, and he retired 1 June 1976. His military decorations include the Distinguished Service Medal, Silver Star with Oak Leaf Cluster, Legion of Merit, Distinguished Flying Cross, Bronze Star Medal with Oak Leaf Cluster and V device, Air Medal with 5 Oak Leaf Clusters, Air Force Commendation Medal, the Army Commendation Medal, maybe I'll explain just how you got that one in there, Purple Heart with Oak Leaf Cluster, Air Force Outstanding Unit Award Ribbon, and the Republic of Vietnam Gallantry Cross with Palm. He's a combat pilot with more than 4,300 hours of flying time. He married Hazel L. Kettner in Panama City, Florida on the 10th of January 1945, and they have 2 sons, Steve and Tony, 6 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. Hazel unfortunately died in October of 2007 from an incurable blood disease ending a marriage that lasted 62 years and 9 months. Wow. You know, in today's jargon, the term hero has become cliche. People use it if somebody does a good deed, or this turned out right, this person's a hero, or she's a hero, or whatever. It's really been watered down. It's lost a lot of its meaning. But I would submit to you that our keynote speaker is a national hero in the full meaning of the term hero. He is truly a treasure, and we should all be proud of our keynote speaker for his accomplishments, 32 years in the United States Air Force. So fellow veterans, family and relatives of veterans, and friends of veterans, please join me in welcoming our national hero, General Norman Gaddis.
I certainly appreciate the wonderful introduction, and I hope that I can share some thoughts with you here in the next few moments. Many times people refer to me as a hero, and I said, I'm really not a hero. I was just a dedicated Air Force officer, and what I would like to be known as now is an officer and a gentleman, and I can't think of anything nicer than being an officer and a gentleman. I do appreciate your words. Thank you so very, very much. And thank you for coming out to be a part of this tonight. Tonight, we're going to be able to engage in something that not many people throughout the world will be able to do, and that is to criticize the government. And let me tell you, we still have a wonderful country. I have been privileged to represent the United States in 29 countries throughout the world over those 32 years that I served. And there is no place like America. There may be more beauty, but within the depths of our souls and our hearts, I think we probably are the kindest people in the whole world. We do not hesitate even to provide for our enemies, those people throughout the 34 years altogether that I served, I never voted in an election. They didn't have absentee ballots, and certainly they didn't have them in Hanoi. That was the last thing they would let you do, is to vote. As an officer in the Air Force, it was inappropriate for me to become involved in partisan politics. My commander was the President of the United States. He was my commander-in-chief. And it was to his office that I reported, because everything from the commander flows down through his chain of command to me and to us who wear the uniform. And so throughout my entire time in service, I never voted in an election. But when I retired in 1976, about the first thing I did when I arrived in North Carolina was to register to vote. I think that's a great privilege, and I think it is also more than a privilege, it's a civic responsibility. We should take some interest in what goes on within our government. We should just not leave it to chance and hope that everything will be okay. As I look around the room tonight, I see one other person who is in my age bracket, and this is John Clayton. John and I are both members of what Tom Brokaw called the greatest generation. And I don't know, I wouldn't try to defend his definition of the greatest generation, but I must say that after World War II, this great country of ours took all of its training capacity and its knowledge that it had gained during the wartime, and it moved forward. We had a technology base. We have research facilities. We still have the strongest armed forces in the world. And we have an economy that was unparalleled. When I left the Pentagon in 1976, for example, the Air Force had 600,000 people. Today it has 320,000. Now the mission hasn't changed. They still are tasked by the Joint Chiefs of Staff to do certain things. And one of the things that bothers me very much is the fact that I have talked to people who are now going to go back to Afghanistan and to Iraq on their sixth. That is certainly overburdening our armed forces. And not only that, it creates grave social problems within the families of those people. We need to be better than that. We need to have a stronger, much more vital Air Force.